Welcome everybody to the newest Dual Deck unboxing video. I'll be your host, David McDarby. If you haven't heard of me, I'm the host of Commander Versus on Star City Games, where I play Commander decks on camera with my friends. It's really awesome. I have a lot of fun. I sometimes forget what the cards do, but it's okay because I'm only human. But anyway, we're here to see the newest Dual Deck the Wizards of the Coast have released, and it is this one. Speed versus Cunning. At the helm is Zurgo Helmsmasher and Arcanis the Omnipotent. So these things are awesome. They contain two 60-card decks with lands and 6 rares each, and all kinds of things that you can play with your friends and decide who is better, the swift one or the smart one. I'm going with smart. But anyway, we have Zurgo Helmsmasher, the Mardu Horde Con. He's a cool guy that likes to fight. He doesn't afraid of anything. Then we have Arcanis the Omnipotent. He hails from the Onslaught era of Magic the Gathering, a long, long time ago when the rule was young. And back then, he drew 3 cards. He still draws 3 cards. He's pretty good. Now, you may know that he's just a wizard. In the Great Creature type update, most Magic cards got erased in the class, like a Human Warrior or a Naga Shaman or whatever. Arcanis avoided that because he's just a wizard. He's that cool. So anyway, this is the newest Dual Deck. Why aren't I in this Dual Deck? Well, you were in the last one, Jace. You were Jace versus Vraska, and then Jace versus Chandra. But I want to be in more. Well, you can't be in everything, Jace, all right? So, yeah, let's crack this box open and actually do this unopening video justice. And here's the Speed versus Cunning deck box. Well, you came for an unopening, so I'm going to unopening it. And for once, I'm going to do not the Cunning thing and the Speed one. All right. So that was Speed. So here we are. We've got some deck boxes with Arcanis with sweet new art and Zurgo with sweet old art. It was the first art for Khans of Tarkir, but he's not the art on his actual card, so it's unique art. And Arcanis is just being awesome. So here's the deck box to put our decks in. Here is the insert that talks about the deck list, but you don't want to look at deck lists, do you? No, you don't want to look at that. So let's look at actual cards. Ooh, it's all new now. Look at this deck box. It's new. So here's Arcanis the Omnipotent. Do not concern yourself with my origin, my race, or my ancestry. Seek my record in the pits, and then make your wager. The Cabal pits, they bet a lot. There was fighting on Altaria. Storyline, you know, that storyline. Zurgo Helmsmasher. So this guy has to attack. I mean, he's a 7-2 with haste. I don't think he has to attack. He plays the card for you. He's indestructible when you attack, so he should attack even more. And when a creature dies, he has the Sinker Vampire ability that instead of sucking their blood, like vampires do, he, like, absorbs their combat prowess and becomes even stronger to fight even more. All right, so here's the decks. Let's go with Speed first, even though 3 of the 4 cards we've seen so far have haste. I guess there's a lot of speed going on. So Hell's Thunder, otherwise known as the Red Geist of Saint Traft. This one, he used to be played a lot, but I actually can't open plastic because it beats me. All right, so we've got 60 cards in here somewhere else. Let's see what we got. Hell's Thunder. Krenko Mob Boss. I didn't know this guy was in here. This is a very strong commander. If you've watched my videos, which you can see here on the left, I play Krenko in one of them, and it's a lot of fun. And if you're a fan of Bonfire of the Damned, or Goblins, or just me beating up on Danny West, you should watch that. He eventually goes out of control. You play him, you make one goblin, then 2 goblins, and 4 goblins, and then you're dead. So there's that guy. Ogre Battle Driver. Turns out he works well with Krenko. It's almost like they planned this. He gives all your guys haste and makes them all attack, and it's a lot of fun. Fear of the Horde. This card is only seen really in one format in Modern, in Gruselbrand Goryo's Vengeance deck that Todd Anderson loves to play. So anyway, you can cast this for 7 mana, and it lets you untap and attack again, something Zurgo is wanted to do. But you can exile 2 red cards, like these red cards, and then cast it faux free. Historically in Magic, cards that are cast faux free are dangerous. Bloodbraid Elf, Ancestral Visions, you know, Skull Clamp costs 1 mana to do, you know, Memory Jar was free to activate it. Casting things for 3 is very scary, so watch out for this card. It seems a little played Modern, but in this one, it lets you attack with maybe your Hell's Thunder again, so you actually can get in 12 damage with this 4-power guy over a course of a couple turns. Banefire. For Sarkhanval, the dragon is the pure expression of life's savage splendor. He probably doesn't say it like that, but as we all know, Sarkhanval, home plane is Tarkir. He's back there. He ran away. These guys, Sarkhan and Zurgo, kind of had a bit of a falling out, which you can glean from the flavor text and cards. But he's back. He's fireballing people. You can't counter it. Oh, I can't counter it. If it costs 5 or more, which is going to, take that, Cunning Mage. Just hope you don't have misdirection in your deck. But yeah, Sarkonval, if you look at packs or anything, there was an awesome cosplayer, Melly, who, she does the most awesome cosplayers ever. She did a Sarkonval with Banefire. She was in all the pictures for the PAX pre-release party. It's awesome. You should check that out. Goblin token. Well, I guess we need this with Krinko because he makes these. So how many goblins do you think we have? 4? 1. Okay. Well, 1 goblin will get us far in life. Frenzy Goblin. He attacks. Yeah, sure. Infantry Veteran. Look at this new art. It's a 1/1 for 1. I don't even whatever. Some guys that tap things. If you play Theros Limited, you can remember this guy would tap a guy. Drugskip Zombie. Unearth. Unearth is the Shards of Alar Grixis mechanic, not the Mardu Horde mechanic from Khans of Tarkir. But anyway, it lets you attack a guy if he dies, attack again. Goblin Death Raider, she is a big old goblin. Hellraiser Goblin, not quite Goblin Rabble Master, but yeah, he's not actually close at all. Flashback Marauder, and what exactly has the most eligible bachelor in Alara been up to these days? Look at this guy. He's awesome looking now. He's actually, has he lost weight? I think he's lost weight. He's been you know, going to the gym, pumping some iron, so he can impress all those other, you know, Goblin Death Raiders that, you know, are hanging out. Goblin War Chief. Another War Chief. He's got a new frame, like M15 frame. Look at this new frame. It's all new and new. He makes goblins cheap in a cast slot. He's good. Cathari Bomber, blah, blah, blah. Flame to Kavu. This guy's good and limited. I talked about it in my limited videos, which you can check out over here, too. This guy's a Flame to Kavu. He's good. Beetleback Chief. 2 Beetleback Chiefs. That's 6 goblins. If you've played Vintage Masters at all, this guy is a good man. He's a mini CGN commander. He's a common in that set. He's uncommon here, which rarity means a whole lot in dual decks. But he makes a bunch of goblins, and you can sack them, you can fight them, you do whatever you want. Flamekin Zealot, if you've ever played against Dredge in Legacy, this used to be in there. Sometimes it still is. But when he comes into play, all your guys get a little boost in haste, and you attack. So your goblins turn from 1/1s into 2/2s, and you attack for twice the insanity. Wow! Scourge Devil, I don't even know what that card does. I don't think it's that good. Only of the wild places. This is where the wild places are. He bounces a guy like Beetleback Chief. Look at this synergy here. You play, get a goblin, you curve into this guy, bounce this guy, play it, and you make as many goblins as you'd ever want in life. Reckless Abandon, I feel like this is also the first new frame for this card. You sack a guy and deal 4 guys. It's like a Goblin Grenade, except only 4 damage, but for any creature. Shock, which we last saw in M14. It will not be in M15 or in Khans of Tarkir. We're shockless, man. I am surprised. Bone Splinters kills a guy. Arc Trail kills 2 guys. Goblin Bombardment. Look at this new art, new frame for a new host of players. You sack a creature, any creature, and you deal 1 damage to something. So, like with Beetleback Chief, with Krinko, you can make all these guys and ping things. You can kill things such as Arcanis the Omnipotent. You can kill this guy, sack 4 guys, he's dead. And the new art is really sweet by Dave Kindle. He's kind of a newer guy, I think. But his art is really awesome. Krinko's command. We've got Krinko. His command is like a Krinko that you have in play for a turn. Steal a guy. Blah, blah, blah. Orcish Cannonade. 1 red. 2 damage to something. Draw a card. And then you take 3. But really, you deal 2 damage to something and draw a card. It is sweet. This card is awesome in every format you'd ever want it in. Fiery Fall. Kills a creature. Land cycles. And land cycles to do. Here's 2 Nomads outposts. These are the Black, White, Red, or Marmaduke. I like saying Marmaduke. The Marmaduke Horde. The Mardu Horde. It taps for all of them. We've got 2 of them in here. They're going to play in standard when you cast your Butcher of the Hordes. It's not bad. 2 Goblin tokens. Why are they separate? Maybe they're just long lost lovers that are separated by all the cards. Here we got mountains from all kinds of core sets. Here we got 3 of the same planes, but the mountains are different. 3 of the same planes, which is kind of weird. Maybe they're random. Let me know if you've got different kind of planes when you get this. And swamps. Bleh. So, alright. So this is that deck. From what I'm looking, you want to draw your promo card, which is the strategy with any dual deck, and play him, and then you attack with him a lot. The other cards are the supporting cast. You've got some tokens, you've got some sacking, you've got some fireballs, you've got some removal. You're black, red, white. You're going to have removal and tokens. That's what you do. That's what you do. So let's get all these Mardu Horde guys back together. They're such a rambunctious bunch. Really a multitudinous brigand bunch, if I've ever seen one. There's Zurgo. He's Zurgoing over here. Here we have Arcanis. Well, first off, I see Lightning Angel, which is one of the most iconic cards of all time. There weren't many Jeskai cards back then. Back then, they called it Red, Blue, White, or America, or Costa Rica, or France, or any other countries that have red, white, blue as a flag. Personally, I like America, but that's just me. I'm a patriot, what can I say? So you've got this Lightning Angel, Sudden Vengeance, Echoing Fury. She looks awesome in this new frame. Like, it's all new and gold, and Arcade Post is awesome. Arcade Post comes to a very large number of our open series. So if you go to an open series, we have it listed on our events page which events he'll be going to. Just look at the artist, see if he pops up. He's a cool guy. I like him a lot. I actually hang out with him a lot. He is really personable. He's kind of crazy, but in only the best way. And he has the best line work of any artist I talked to. I had him draw a playmat of Jace, and the line work was awesome. I have it in my room. It's pretty. But yeah, Lightning Angel. It's kind of like a Mantis Rider, except for an extra mana, you get a bigger butt. Is that good? I don't know, but I like 4 toughness, and I cannot lie. So there's that. 1,000 Winds, a Raymond Swallen card, which also has awesome art. It's all 3D, it's all jaggedy and quick, and lots of action and movement. So 1,000 Winds is a pretty powerful card. You play it, and then if you have 7 mana is not that much, right? You unmorph him, and then bounce poor Zurgo back to your hand, and then hopefully you win because you spent 7 mana. You spent 10 mana total on morphing this guy. Sphinx of Uthun. This is the Fact or Fiction Sphinx. You play him in your Fact or Fiction. Fact or Fiction is awesome. I actually have the original art for Fact or Fiction in my room, if I may say so myself, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this guy is in a lot of my commander decks. He's in my S deck, because he is a Sphinx of Uthun, so I play him there. He's a good guy. He can block most creatures in this deck, in the opposing deck, and still live to tell the tale and draw some cards. Hold the line. Forgive me, Master Kami, but in the interest of my people, I must halt your advance. It's like my favorite flavor text ever. Steam Augury. It's the Fact or Fiction that couldn't. It's like Fact or Fiction, but the power is reversed, but you still get a couple cards. It's also in my S deck, and it's in my blue, white, red Jeskai counterburn deck that I built that you can read about in my articles that I wrote 2 days ago from now, 3 days ago. Anyway, just look at my archived writings and you'll find it. A Prowess creature. Prowess is the Jeskai mechanic, and as it happens, we are a red, blue, and white deck, so we're the Jeskai deck. We're just not called that. And we're heralded by, not by Narset, but by Arcanis. At the time, Narset was still training in her monastery, so we didn't know what she was up to. So Jeskai Elder, she's a 1/2, or she's a 1/2. They can block 1/1s, get bigger, block bigger things. Fairy Imposter, the quick link for 1 mana, but it doesn't have flash, but is a flying. It can bounce your creatures to get more enter the battlefield abilities, like Sphinx of Uthun. Coral Trickster. He's a 2/1 for 2, morph, blue. So it's morph. Look at the morph mechanic bringing it back. And when you turn face up, you may tap or untap target permanent. So there's a card back in the day, or still in the day, I suppose. It's called Twiddle. It taps or untaps a permanent. So Twiddle. They wait in darkened depths, laughing eagerly. What does every letter start with? T-W-I-D-D-L-E? Huh. Weird. Twiddle's in the flavor text. Interesting. 2 Coral Tricksters. Fathom Seer. It's kind of like a Gush, because you return 2 islands to your hand and draw 2 cards. This was made in the Time Spiral block, Time Spiral Player and Canon's Future site, where all the cards were throwbacks to old cards. Everything was made up. The rules didn't matter, but so this was a throwback to Gush. I will stop gushing about it though. Willbender. So in Commander, there aren't a lot of morph creatures being played. Maybe now there'll be a couple more morph creatures played. The creature that counters a spell and you get it, Spelljacks. But in Commander, there is an old adage. If it's a morph, it's a Willbender. Willbenders can be turned up at any point, not even when you have priority, but can be turned up and do their ability. So the interesting thing about this guy is, remember like Banefire? It can't be countered or prevented. Maybe sudden shock. Well, you can still morph in response to those things because it doesn't use a stack. It's a special action that happens. You redirect their Stroke of Genius to you. You draw 1,000,000 cards. You kill them with their own Banefire, and you're happy. So it's always a Willbender. It's always a Willbender. Hey, Spark Mage kills a guy. Master Decoy taps a guy. Echo Tracer, Echo Tracer, Echo Tracer, Echo Tracer. Korra Hookmaster. I honestly just like this card because it's in Zendikar when I first started playing, so it has a lot of meaning to me, and it's Wayne Reynolds' art. If you ever played Pathfinder, he does all the art for that. He does tons of magic art. You can tell his art because there's jaggedy lines and things flying around in the air, and all the people are very, like they have tons of clothes and gear and belts and hooks and stuff. But I love his art. He's an awesome guy. He did doubling season. When I had him sign it, he signed it twice because he's Wayne Reynolds. He's awesome at doubling season. Doubles it. So the Hookmaster, Stonecloaker, 4 abilities on a card. I don't know what they're all. There's too many abilities to read, man. Some guys. Hussar Patrol. This harkens back to Return of Ravnica days where an Azorius Mage would have 4 mana open. You didn't know if he had the old 2/4 Vigilance Flash guy. Another Flash guy. Fleeting Distraction. For a while there, in Avacyn Restore, we didn't have very many cantrips, and I resorted to Fleeting Distraction to fill my cantrip need that I have. I have a need for cantrips to cost a single blue. The best mana cost in the game, as we're all aware. Stave Off. Yeah, whatever. Swift Justice. This was also a Ravnica card that I played a lot. Impulse with the new art. This was the first art by Izzy that was spoiled for the Magic the Gathering 20 special from the Vault deck. Some people, like Evan Irwin, thought it was Mother Runes. Look how silly he looks now. That's not Mother Runes at all. It's Impulse, even though I thought it was Mystical Tutor. But I guess I also look silly. So, yeah. Mana Leak. Hey, that's kind of like Teamer Term, right? Lightning Helix with the new art. Fancy. Modern All-Star staple. Dramatic Vision, so you can mana fix yourself, much like Fiery Fall and the other one. They kind of blue and red. Hey, look, a blue spell mana fixes, a red spell mana fixes. What other spells would you want besides blue and red? Trap them, bounce some guys, kill some guys. We're trappy. Repeal. Look at this new art. Repeal. Everyone knows about Repeal. You bounce a guy, but it's still Azorius themed because it's very Azorius-y. You know, not really doing anything, just drawing a card and messing with your opponent a little bit. That art is sweet. It's not foil, but it is cool art. Mystic Monastery, it is the Mardu Horde's Nomad's Assembly of the Jeskai Way. Cast your mana, cast your Lightning Angel, Terminal Expanse. And we have some islands. All kinds of islands. A few mountains. Once again, 3 mountains with the same art. Interesting. A different island, same art for mountains, and different art for plains. So, this deck's got some haste creatures. It has like 1 haste creature, actually. The Lightning Angel has a bunch of flash things, a bunch of tricky things. You would imagine with blue and red and white, they are tricky, combat-oriented kind of mages that have lots of spell-based things. So I think with this deck, you want to draw your Arcanist, have 3 blue mana, cast them, and then just start drawing cards, be tricky. You know, this deck, the Mardu deck, the speed deck, can't really draw a whole lot of extra cards. The Cunning deck can because they're cunning, they're not fast though. Yep, so this deck is great. It's got 2 60-card decks. 2 60-card decks that you can play with a friend. It has multiple rares and all the things. Some cards are playable in older formats. You've got Repeal, you've got Goblin Bombardment, a cube staple with new art, Zurgo Helmsmasher, which might be making waves in Standard. He's 5 mana for a hasty guy like Stormwrath Dragon, but he doesn't die on your turn, and he actually has more power than Stormwrath Dragon. Anyway, this deck is a great deal. As of right now, it just came out, and as of this video coming out, it's only $15 here at StarCityGames.com. $15! For that price, you buy like lunch, or like you buy Starbucks for you and your friend because you lost the flip of a coin. You have to buy Starbucks for both of you. It happens to me a lot. It happens to our director more than anybody else, though. But it's only $15. Just pick this up and play it. A lot of times in Magic, we get bogged down into, I gotta make this deck for FNM and beat my opponent and, like, you know, reign supremacy. But this is just black, white, red, red, white, blue. If you're a Boros Mage, you really love this deck, and you just play Magic with your friends. Just hang out with some friends, play through a couple of games down in between your D&D sessions and playing Destiny, because that's what I do. I play Magic in between all my little games that I play, because Magic is my favorite game, and this deck is awesome. If you want to let me know if you opened it and the experiences you've had with it, let me know in the comments down below. Like I said before, over to Your Right, you'll see all the links on the playlist and on the YouTube channel that include my Commander Versus series, where, as it turns out, Zurgo Helmsmasher and Arcanis might just be played recently. Well, Zurgo will be coming up for sure. Arcanis is in most blue decks because he's an ancestral recall man. And a lot of these cards will be using those in those videos. So please check that out. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this Speed versus Cunning dual deck unboxing video with me, David McDarby, as your host. Check you guys out next time.